Today we are celebrating Pride! Oh, it's so exciting! Today we're going to be celebrating being proud of who we and other people are. Oh, it's so exciting! And today I'm going to be reading you four, you're so lucky, 4 fabulous stories about being proud. I am so rude. I am so sorry. My name. I have not told you my name. When I tell you my name, you need to do something very important. You need to comment saying, hello, because I want to know that you're here. So, on a count of 3, when I tell you my name, you need to say, hello. Are we ready? Oh, I hope we are. Here we go. My name is 1, 2, 3, Aida, the Storytime drag queen. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, everybody comment the word hello. I want to know that you are here. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, it's so exciting. So, we better get into storytelling as fast as possible. It's so exciting. And the first story that I am reading you today is Felix's New Skirt by Kirsten Whitson and Igor Kuplin. And here we go. Felix liked to wear skirts. The wider, the better. My legs get a lot of air, he said. And look, it's a green skirt. Only cool people wear green. Oh. Can I wear your green dress? Felix asked his sister Ava. The one with the glittery flowers. Only if I get your black jeans, Ava said, opening her wardrobe. Felix laughed and gave his sister a big hug. Mum, Ava called, Felix needs his own dresses. A red one, Felix added, jumping on the bed with one of Ava's long dresses. Oh, how lovely. Oh. At the department store, Felix tugged his mum towards the girls' clothes. Do you have red skirts? He asked the salesperson. Felix pushed hangers with colourful clothes back and forth and back and forth. Look, Mum, Felix said when he found the perfect one. His eyes shone as he held up a red pleated skirt. Well, let's see if this fits, Mum said, gently caressing his curly blonde hair. The salesperson smiled. You've got a beautiful girl, she said. Felix is a boy, Mum corrected her, and he loves skirts. Then the salesperson stopped smiling. What a grumpy salesperson. Can I wear my new skirt to school tomorrow? Felix asked his dad. Dad wrinkled his forehead, looking serious. Mum and Ava were both quiet. Some people might not understand, Dad said, hugging him. I think you should wear trousers on your first day. That's not fair, is it really? Dad took Felix to school each morning, but each day Felix was less and less excited to go. When can I wear my red skirt? Felix asked, pulling at his jeans and twisting his mouth into a frown. Maybe, tomorrow, Dad said. The next day, Felix dashed out of the front door in his red pleated skirt. Dad smiled uneasily and took his hand. When they arrived, Felix exclaimed, "Look how my red skirt spins!" He was practically dancing. Woo! But the other kids laughed at him. "You look like a girl," they shouted, pointing at him. "Real boys don't wear dresses. Why don't you go play with somebody else?" "That's inappropriate," the other parents whispered to each other. "What kind of parent allows his child to do something like that? Ooh! Oh, what mean people. Mean. Felix was sad that no one wanted to play with him. Aww. Raindrops pattered against the window and joined up, running down the glass. The other kids played together, but when they looked in Felix's direction, they pointed and giggled. He waited for the day to end, with tears in his eyes. Aww. Sad. Now, Felix didn't feel like going to school anymore. He wondered, why don't they like my wonderful skirt? I can run faster and climb more easily. Why would they think Mum and Dad are bad? What have they done? Oh, look, he's crying. He's very upset. Oh, no. Oh. It's not fair that girls are allowed to wear trousers, but boys can't wear skirts, Felix told his dad. I should be allowed to wear whatever I like. You're right, Felix, his dad said. But people aren't always so considerate. Felix whispered to his dad, is there anything that you can do to help? Together, they returned to the department store, and Dad approached the salesperson. Do you have any skirts in my size? Dad asked the salesperson, winking at Felix. Felix couldn't believe it. And look, what colour is it? It's green! Only cool people wear green. For the next few days, the two of them walked around town wearing their skirts. People glared at them and shook their heads. Felix just waved back and laughed. One woman approached them, ranting, You're wearing a skirt! You can't do that! She stared at them for so long, she stumbled into a street sign. Goodness me! Felix gave her a hand. Did you hurt yourself? He said. I'm okay, she said. I'm a boy. Sure, Felix answered, taking his dad's hand and walking away. The next morning, Felix announced, I want to go back to school. I'm ready. Mum and Ava both breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, that's good. Dad walked to school with Felix, as always. You're wearing a skirt too, one boy asked Felix's dad. Dad nodded. Today, anybody can wear a skirt. Did nobody tell you? The boy shook his head with astonishment. You look funny in girls' clothes, another boy said to Felix. Is that bad? Felix replied. The boy shrugged his shoulders. Boys have to wear trousers. Only girls wear skirts. Isn't that unfair? Felix said. I want to wear what I like. And for me, that's skirts and dresses. He gave his skirt a twirl. And from that day onwards, nobody asked if he was a boy or a girl. They simply called him Felix. The end! Oh, what a lovely book! Felix's New Skirt by Kirsten Britson and Igor Kuplin. Ah, how lovely! Oh, I love that book. It's so lovely. It's so lovely indeed. If you enjoyed that book, comment a heart. Oh, it's so exciting because there's another book coming. The next book is called The Three Goats United by... Oh! Me! This is my book. Also illustrated by Becky Peel. In a wild grassy field with a river and a pool are overgrown flowers with stems that stand tall. And within those flowers, all proud and steady, lived 3 little goats called James, Harry and Eddie. They were ever so close, this family of 3, with different coloured coats and all sized differently. James was shiny brown with horns this big. He loved to butt trees and joust and jump and jig. The next goat, called Harry, had a coat as black as soot. Agile, balanced, courageous, they could walk on 1 foot. Now, Eddie. He was small, about as small as you could think, shy and embarrassed, for his coat was bright pink. Look, greener growing grass, said Harry, across the river on the ridge. Let's go munch on that, said James. Look, there's a bridge. Further afield, however, only just out of sight, was an evil travelling wolf. His coat was ghost white. Grisly, grumpy, hungry, this wolf was not nice, with deep plum red eyes and a heart made of ice. He glanced at the flowers. Colours! No! He would say. He did not like those wretched colours. So he ripped them up and blew them away. How lucky our goats were to not be in Wolf's path. For if they should cross him, they would sure face his wrath. Suddenly, Wolf turned, and with a sniff and a blink, I see me someone different, Wolf snarled, for he saw a flash of bright pink. Oh no! A pink-coloured goat, thought Wolf as he scratched his tummy. How odd! How weird! How different! How yummy! Wolf saw the bridge, and so he ran to catch him a goat and hatch his evil plan. Now, under that small bridge, in a hole, lived a troll. He's not in this story, though, because Wolf ate him whole. Ah! Deep in the blue shadows, Wolf did wait. In his heavy black sack, he pulled out a fork, a spoon, and a plate. As the sun set slowly, James crossed first from field to field, his big horns shining like a sword and a shield. Can you see Wolf? Oh no, oh no. Okay, we're gonna play a game, okay? I want everybody to comment the word raw, but don't press enter. Type raw. It's spelt R-O-A-R. Type it quickly, type it quickly, get those fingers ready. And on a count of 3, when I turn the page, I want everybody to press enter at the same time. Who can do the most loudest roar when they type as well? Are you ready? Okay, have you typed the word roar? R-O-A-R. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, and press enter. 3. Screamed Wolf as he jumped from the dark. I will eat you up, he growled with a frightening bark. Oh, will you now? Said James, as he raised his horns on his hairy head. Actually, no, I have now changed my mind, Wolf said. Cowardly Wolf. Wolf let James pass without worry or woe, because now it was Harry's turn to go. Harry whizzed past so fast they could singe. Are they a bird or a plane? No, it's Harry, the goat ninja. Woo! Look at that! Oh, hiya! Goat ninja, Harry, hiya! Woo-hoo-hoo! Goat ninja. Boo! Oh! Shouted Wolf as he pounced from the tree. I will eat you up, he smiled with glee. Oh, will you now? Whispered Harry as they raised their ninja arms. Actually, no, I have now changed my mind, Wolf charmed. Wolf let Harry pass, his pride not shaken, as Eddie was next, and open for the taking. 2 goats had passed, only 1 to go. Wolf planned to corner Eddie, now that he was alone. Step, 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 step. Where is Wolf hiding? Step, 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 step. His time he is biding. Wolf was behind Eddie. He was running at him fast. If Wolf caught up, Eddie wouldn't last. Only 4 steps away. Run, Eddie, run! And before Eddie knew it, 1, 2, 3. Thump. Oh no. What's happened to Eddie? Oh no! Standing between Wolf and Eddie were James and Harry, all proud and steady. Harry blocked Wolf with their swift ninja moves. And James pushed him back with his horns and hooves. Eddie was scared, but knew just what to do. So he jumped on Wolf's head and did a massive poo. He did a massive poo! Oh, goodness me, that's so funny. Together they pushed all three at full throttle, until over the bridge Wolf did finally topple. "Ah!" yelled Wolf. "It seems I acted too rash." What happened next, you wonder? Well, Wolf went splash! Oh! "Bye-bye, Wolf!" shouted Harry. "Leave!" exclaimed James, very stern.
"Leave!"
squeaked Eddie.
"And never return!"
Together a team, apart you are blighted. But today, they were the three goats united. The end! Woo! Oh, I love that book. Of course I love it. I wrote it. And look, I am even in it. Look, there's me. Goodness me. Oh, goodness me. We've got time for 2 more books, but we have to get through them quickly. This book is called What Wesley Wore. Are you ready? Are you ready? Comment a heart if you are ready. Are you ready? Comment a heart. This is What Wesley Wore. In Westborough Wood, every weasel was expected to follow the rules and fit in or be rejected. But then there was Wesley. He always stood out. He just didn't get what these rules were about. No one could bear to see the crazy stuff. Couldn't he be normal? They all had enough. Oh, he just loves to dress up. Look at the front of the book as well. Loves to dress up and stand out. It was too hard to accept a weasel that bold. Clothes just weren't okay. Wesley had to be told. They crafted a plan that very next morning. They'd end Weasley's nonsense with one final warning. There wasn't a place for a weasel like him, who dared to stand out and would never fit in. Oh no. Oh, look at that. Oh, how fabulous. As Wesley left home, dressed to greet the new day, he was mobbed by a crowd who had something to say. "You don't look right. What a terrible sight. Get rid of your clothes. I will give you a fight." Oh, goodness me. Wesley was shocked. He thought he looked splendid. It was only clothes. Why were they so offended? "What's this about? There's no need to shout." "So what? Who cares if I dress to stand out?" Wesley turned and raced home, his confidence crushed. His eyes filled with tears and his cheeks became flushed. He took one look around and huffed a huge sigh. His dad hugged him tightly as he started to cry. Oh no. Wesley once loved his clothes. Now they all seemed like junk. He gathered his garments to hide in a trunk. Dad couldn't bear what the weasels had to say. Wesley was perfect in his own special way. "Those weasels went too far. I love you as you are. My wonderful Wesley, you should shine like a star." Oh, that's good advice from Dad. Wesley took Dad's advice. With a smile on his face, he returned every treasure to each special place. He picked out the boldest outfit he could find to show that they would never again change his mind. Dry that last tear. Just smile when they sneer. Don't let them win. Don't show them your fear. He strode past the bullies who kicked up a stink, not caring this time What those weasels would think.
Give me some space. I'm getting tired of this place. You'll never again take the smile off my face.
He did not care at all. As the mob crowded Wesley, a caravan of stoats burst onto the scene, all wearing colourful coats. What a sight! Oh dear! Being naked so last year! Isn't there anyone remotely stylish around here? At that moment, the weasels of Westborough Wood felt embarrassed and all looked to where Wesley stood. Your clothes look so pretty. Being stuck here seems a pity. Leave this lot behind. You belong in the city. Wesley wasn't sure, but Dad kept watch all along. So hard to say goodbye. They needed to be strong. Wipe those tears from your face. Our love no one can replace. Wesley, now's your chance to live your life and find your place. Bye, Wesley. Oh no. After one final hug, they whisked Wesley away. Deep down, Dad knew things would be better this way. Without Wesley, sadness spread all through the wood. This shocked all of the weasels, who thought they would feel good. Weeks later, a letter came to those who'd made fun. I forgive you, it said. They all knew what they'd done. Their mean words and actions drove Wesley away. If they'd been kinder, he'd have wanted to stay. They met Wesley's dad, full of guilt, teary-eyed, in spite of his anger. He showed them inside. In Wesley's old room, he shed clothes left behind. Could a walk in his shoes help the weasels be kind? When they opened their minds to a new point of view, the weasels felt joy as they tried something new. Oh. Now, Westborough Wood was a happier place. Every weasel felt special, with a smile on their face. As Wesley returned from his life in the city, he loved seeing the welcoming wood look so pretty. His joy grew each visit, and Dad proudly saw how everyone learned to love what Wesley wore. The end. Oh, I love that book. It's so lovely. I really love that book. If you really love that book too, put as many hearts as possible. We want as many hearts as possible if you loved that book, because I really love that book. Now, we've got time for one more quick story. Okay? Okay? Here we go. One last story. This is called Introducing Teddy. Errol and Thomas the Teddy play together every day. They ride their bike in the backyard and they plant vegetables in the garden. Also, they have sandwiches for lunch in the treehouse. And they have tea parties inside when it's raining. Tea parties inside when it's raining. One day, Errol woke to find the sun shining through his bedroom window. Hooray! He shouted. Come on, Thomas, let's go to the park and play. Thomas the Teddy didn't feel like playing. You seem sad today, Thomas, said Errol. Don't worry, the park will cheer you up. Thomas the Teddy wasn't so sure. Oh no, even the swing isn't working.
What's wrong, Thomas? Talk to me. If I tell you, said Thomas, you might not be my friend anymore. Oh no. I will always be your friend, Thomas. Always. Thomas the teddy took a deep breath. I need to be myself, Errol. In my heart, I've always known that I'm a girl teddy, not a boy teddy. I wish my name was Tilly, not Thomas. Ah. Is that why you've been so sad? Errol asked. I don't care if you're a girl teddy or a boy teddy. What matters is that you are happy and my friend. Ah, you're the best friend a bear could have, said Tilly. Ah. Now that you're feeling better, said Errol, let's call our friend Ava. Hi, Ava. Teddy and I at the park. Do you want to come and play? Sure, Errol. Let me just finish building my robot. Hi, Errol. Hi, Thomas. Ava called out as she sped towards them. Hi, Ava, said Errol. Oh, Teddy has a new name. Let me introduce you to Tilly. What a great name, said Ava. Let's go and play, Tilly. Ah! Wait, I'm just moving my bow tie, said Tilly the teddy. I've always wanted a bow instead. Good for you, Tilly. Wear whatever makes you happy, said Ava. I think I'll get rid of my bow. I like my hair free, said Ava. Oh, look at that. Ah! That's fabulous. Errol, Ava and Tilly played all morning until it was time to go home. See you at our next tea party, Errol said as Ava stepped onto her scooter. Yes, see you there. I'm bringing a friend, Ava yelled as she sped away. Shoo! Errol and Tilly the teddy play together every day. They ride their bike in the backyard. They plant vegetables in the garden. Also, they have sandwiches for lunch in the treehouse. And they have tea parties inside when it's raining. And that is introducing Teddy. Thank you so much for joining for this Pride Storytime. I hope you had so much fun. I had fun. I loved all of the stories there. And if you did, I want you all to comment one word and one word only. Are you ready? The word is pride. Everybody comment the word pride as many times as possible. Comment it once, comment it twice, comment it 3 times, comment it 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 billion times. Comment it as many times as possible. Now, it was lovely to see you, but I've really got to go. Oh, no. Goodbye, everybody. Au revoir. Yes, goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Yes, au revoir. À tout à l'heure. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Hello. Oh, no, not hello. Goodbye. Yes, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye! 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 Yeah! You've got to go now! Goodness me!